It's the Score North Twin Show.
God. Man. Boy, Cleveland, you know what they could use before we even start things off here? A van full of actual relievers instead of position players. And if they did have a van full of relievers, what would that van look like, Judd?
It would look like a certain football team, but it would say Finch Home Solutions. And I don't know what the horn would sound like, but the sight of that van would be a welcome presence to your home if you have any electrical issues whatsoever. I'm talking about anything. I'm talking about an outlet that needs to be replaced. I'm talking about your home being rewired. There is no project too big and no project too small for the folks from Finch Home Solutions who are going to do a fantastic job. They did at my house. They're professional, they're courteous, they're quick. They're upfront about things, and they will take care of the problems. 612-357-2604, FinchHomeSolutions.com. FinchHomeSolutions.com. Cleveland Guardians pitching staff, you might want to put in a call because you definitely had some type of power outage last night, starting with a corrupt Giolito.
Dude, I love how they just gave up. They were just like, first of all, according to Doogie on the Scoop session today, Minnesota Sports with Mackey and Judd, Score on the YouTube channel, the Twins did put a claim in on Lucas Giolito, but the Guardians were in front of them in the waiver claim order. So the Guardians, they also put a claim in on Matt Moore. Was it Reynaldo Lopez?
I think everyone but Renfroe, I think is what Duke said basically, right? Because there was 5 guys, and he said they put in 4.
4 claims.
Well, but one of them was Bader. They did not put a claim in on Grichuk. Bader was he a Yankee?
Yes.
Right? So I'm pretty sure.
Reds. Yep.
But anyways, like the Guardians claiming Giolito instead of the Twins.
Thank you, God.
It gifted the Twins a 20-6 victory last night, in which the freaking Guardians put a position player out in the 6th inning. The 6th inning of last night's game. Is that going to throw off the Twins hitters' timing for the last 2 games in the series? That's my biggest worry.
How do you do that though? Like I get it, I guess, but my God, like I get the 8th and 9th for sure. Like it's hard to watch, but but the 6th inning,
it's aggressive.
I don't think I've ever seen anything like that before the 8th. Have you?
I have not. Trevor Plouffe was tweeting last night saying, "Hey, legitimately." That he was, I think, worried about this throwing off the timing of hitters, but the Twins did sub in a bunch of their. Yeah, they subbed in a bunch of their like non-starters.
Pitches.
Yes,
home run derby problems right there.
He said he would legitimately have spent the last 2 or 3 innings dropping bunts down and just getting thrown out to end the game quicker. That hey, if you're going to do this, we're not going to worry about hitting 3-run tanks off outfielders. Although Joey Gallo got back on track, and that was nice.
But can't you find a position player that can just throw like fastballs? Like what I don't get is the and Smalley talked about this on the telecast. It's like all eephus pitches now.
But they're doing that, I think, because it throws off timing, right? Because if those guys are going to, I mean, now Drew Butera came in one time and was throwing like 94.
Yeah.
But unless you have a guy that can come in and just throw like 95 mile an hour fast, if you're going to throw an 87 mile an hour fastball, that's even more likely to get hit 500 feet than a 55 mile an hour eephus pitch. So
and it was Plouffe. He was more saying too. He wants a mercy rule. I think is what he tweeted. He wants a mercy rule after a certain period, like you see in Little League, basically.
So if it's like the 7th inning and you're up by 12 runs,
I'm fine. Regular season, amen. Yes, and if you're going to put a pitcher in the 6th, let's call it after 7. I'm all for that.
I think I am too. Like if our options are, hey, you guys have given up. You're going to put a third baseman in or whatever. Like, let's just agree to go home, get a little early dinner, go watch a movie in the hotel room, and come back for BP tomorrow, right?
And Roy and Bramer were salty last night. I sort of don't blame them, but they got really salty to the point. I have never heard Dick be as hard on a Twins player as he was that poor Brent Hedrick, who hit 2 guys, and the Guardians got pissed off. And Bramer's like, well, if he can't throw strikes, then you just have to take him out right now.
No, you keep him in there so that you don't burn your other pitchers.
I know, but he got really salty.
Dude, there's a guy was rage tweeting us about, is it Hedrick, right? That's the guy's name?
Yeah.
There was a guy rage tweeting Judd and I like 3 different tweets last night. Get this guy to the game. No, you want this guy to throw 150 pitches right now. He's got 14 runs of cushion to play with. Yeah, send him down and because that's I think like the thing about last night is this is why I would get rid of position players being even allowed to pitch. I would literally just say they're not allowed to pitch, because part of your advantage when you nuke a team like that in the first game of a 3-game series, they should have to tax their bullpen or at least burn a guy for like 5 innings, right? And instead, it's kind of genius. I mean, Francona says, we need to win these next 2 games, so I'm not going to burn like 2 or 3 relievers to sacrifice my chances on Tuesday and Wednesday or whatever.
Giolito's been so bad since he was traded from the White Sox to the Angels. I would have been tempted to just let him ride it out and been like, dude, you're gone. Because he's not like that's the key thing about the guys, the 3 pitchers that the Guardians claimed is I think they're all free agents.
Yes.
Giolito to me wouldn't start again. So I'd be like, you know what, dude, I don't care. You're just going to keep throwing. I don't care if you're getting hammered. I don't care if you're being embarrassed. Now, Tito's too classy to do it, but that would have been my temptation.
This was the Declan plan when I played baseball. I pitched 3 times in my illustrious baseball career, and it was all either up by 10 runs or down by 10 runs. There was no.
Were you throwing eephus pitches or fastballs?
I was throwing fastballs, 45-mile-an-hour straight as arrow fastball.
I hear ya.
I was almost tempted at the state fair to to do the radar gun, but I was like,
do that
no,
anymore.
I'm just gonna take
It's
that.
humiliating.
And you're going to
It
hurt
is
yourself.
humiliating too. Yeah.
You're like,
The
I can't
rotator
even-
cuff gets weaker.
It does.
It starts to hurt.
Tommy John surgery
My
because
rotator cuff still hurts, and I don't pitch. I don't know from trying to throw stuff from
at the
throwing
fair.
TV?
The first time I noticed it, I was probably in my late 20s, and I was throwing some rocks into the water. And I'm like, my shoulder hurts like hell. It's like, it's my rotator cuff. I'm like, I'm done with this.
I heard this is what happened to Brad Radke in 06, actually. He was skipping rocks on the lake and frayed his
Like
labrum.
Minnetonka.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right, before we get to our Immaculate Grid, here's going to be a little bit of an abbreviated version of the Score North Twin Show today, just based on our schedules. So we will get to an Immaculate Grid, but we didn't really do much feedback last Friday, Judd, so let's do a little feedback Friday on a Monday here. Or on a Tuesday, I guess.
Tuesday. Yeah. Week's all screwed up.
We'll start with Tyler Anderson. And you can always hit us up, the Score North YouTube channel, comment sections, the Score North app. Tyler Anderson says, hey, guys, I was wondering what the comparison is between Justin Jefferson and Royce Lewis. Both these guys are fun players to watch and have winning in their veins. Dude, Lewis came up last night, and the game was very much still, it's a 2nd inning or whatever, right? Or 3rd inning, whatever inning it was. And bases are loaded, 2-0. I don't know if you guys caught this, but when it was bases loaded and the second pitch was a ball, they showed a side view of the batter's box. And Royce Lewis, he had this look on his face like, oh boy, I'm getting a fastball, and it's my job to hit it 485 feet right now.
Amen.
He hasn't been missing these pitches very often in his first 50 games. And is it like Miguel Sano's first 50 games where, all right, that's the best 50 games he ever played? Or are we looking at a franchise? I think we're looking at a franchise-altering player here in front of our eyes.
I agree completely. And so on our Purple Daily Show today, Declan talked about the fact with Kirk Cousins that opinions have changed and that there's certain folks who are like, you can't change. Your opinion was this. Well, I'd like to say this of the Twins. This team pre-All-Star break, and I know they spent a bunch of time in first place to me, was a dead-ass team. They were a dead-ass team, and I didn't see anyone, including Correa, who lifted them, right? Royce Lewis has changed, and the kitty core too, but it starts with him. Royce Lewis has changed my opinion of watching this team.
Wow. Look at this guy. There's room on the bandwagon.
He's not dead-ass.
There's room on the bandwagon.
But, I mean, you think about what this kid brings. You think about, like, he has that weird it factor of a guy that clearly loves baseball, and it's that I think people are making pocket comparisons right now. But he does have an it factor that this team sorely lacked, and this again shows too that leadership is not based on like age. It's not based on, I signed here, so you're going to follow me. It's an intangible, and Royce Lewis has that intangible. But I dare anyone to say that Royce Lewis hasn't made this team, and I mean in every way too, because he's clearly playing great, but Royce Lewis to me makes this team far more fun to watch, and I think everybody now falls into line more.
Yeah, it's interesting comparison because Royce Lewis is one guy in a 9-man order, and Justin Jefferson in an era of receivers where kind of things are taking over to a degree. He can, I think, maybe change the game a little bit more. You saw that with Kirill Kaprizov with the Wild the moment he got here. Oh my God, now the Wild have like a legitimate bona fide superstar. You're seeing it obviously with the Wolves and Anthony Edwards too. But there is some type of, I don't know, hard to quantify swagger that Royce Lewis possesses that I just haven't seen on this team in a long time. And we used the Torrey Hunter one a few years ago, or a few shows ago, and that's probably as close as it gets because Mauer was a superstar, but Mauer was not a like badass when you didn't feel this like bravado when he came up to the plate. I love me some Joe Mauer, but don't get me wrong, that's not who he is.
He had dad energy from the age of 22, right?
Yes, exactly. So it's cool to see Royce Lewis come up in these big moments for a team that has lacked that type of player for a very long time.
He's got a little hop on my back boys to him, right? That's the Kirby thing. And I don't know, like his presence in this lineup, it's like they just plopped one of the best hitters in baseball in the middle of their lineup for a pennant run. And that, like, this is the hope that I think a lot of Twins fans had. Well, Judd, rightfully so, was frustrated with some things a couple months ago. I feel like the optimism that Declan and I have had is, hey, they're going to win the division. And man, like if Royce Lewis can come back healthy, which is still a big if, and we've gone over some of the other hot starts in Twins history, you never fully know. But this isn't a Lou Ford situation where this is a first overall pick.
Right.
This is supposed to happen. And in baseball, it doesn't always happen with these guys because the first round of the baseball draft can be kind of a crapshoot, but not usually with the first overall pick. That is like, there's occasionally a Delman Young that just doesn't get it mentally, but that's not what we're dealing with here. If a guy is healthy and a guy is mentally sound with a high baseball IQ and he's, physically put together and he's the first overall pick, he's probably going to mash. And we are seeing that right now with the Twins. Let's keep going here in the feedback. Ryan Keel says, hey guys, just wondering if you could possibly find a stat for the Twins record when Royce Lewis is in the lineup. It just looks like they're more alive when he's playing. What do you guys think? Great show. Appreciate all you do for Minnesota sports. So it's funny. They're actually only 23-21 when he plays, but they did rack up a bunch of losses early. They lost like 6 games in a row early. So if you just look at like the last month when he's in the lineup, I think anecdotally it's much better than 23-21. But
sure. And they lost the third game on Sunday to the Rangers. But I mean, he was great in that. Like he does things that even in defeats give you hope. Mm-hmm. He doesn't, go up there, head down. It's the difference between a guy like that and in the far too often brooding Max Kepler, right? Now Max is playing well right now, but Max Kepler. Maybe I should have just played soccer. The shift is
his energy. He has weird energy. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So like you lost on Sunday, but you certainly didn't say the reason why they had a chance to win, and by the way, sweep a series on the road, was Royce.
Yes. Yeah. And he's holding his own, defensively too. I think we need more of a sample size to start to see. And there's a lot of big picture questions going forward because actually one of the other storylines the last couple of weeks is Jorge Polanco. We weren't really sure. Are they going to get him back? Is he going to, he's always had the ankle problems and stuff. And that stuff is still going to linger, especially as he gets into his 30s. But dude, the old Jorge Polanco is back. That at bat he took before the Royce Lewis Grand Slam. It was like a 6-pitch, couple foul offs. He worked the count. I think he was down 0-2, worked the count back to full, and then drew a walk. And I think it was the 1-2 pitch, if I'm not mistaken. And Giolito was on the ropes, but Giolito still has some diving, darting stuff, off-speed changeup that fades away from left-handed hitters. And he dropped a changeup on a 1-2 pitch where I think most younger hitters would have to swing at it. But Polanco, having seen Giolito enough, like he spits on a pitch that starts at his belt, fades out of the zone. The at-bat keeps going. And then he hits a home run in the first inning too, like to get the party started. Like if all of a sudden we get one of the best hitters in baseball, Royce Lewis, and we get the old Jorge Polanco back in the top 4 slots in that lineup, I mean, it doesn't matter that their record isn't as good as it should have been, or it doesn't matter. Like they're going to get to the playoffs with that intact potentially in a month. That's what's exciting about this.
And then don't screw it up. I still dread the playoff game.
We know.
I dread Rocco's
Bring
going to
it
screw
on.
it up. I dread Falvey's going to screw it up.
We should be Teflon to this. 18 consecutive times we have tried to kick the football and it's been pulled away from us. Like,
yeah, but here's my problem.
I am immune to the pain of a Twins playoff loss at this point.
But I'm not immune to the pain of stupidity. Like the Twins have an easy bake recipe. Okay, like it's not their path to a playoff win is pretty clear. And it feels like Rocco and Falvey get in the kitchen and they're like, yeah, it's easy bake, but what if we put some little bit of pepper here? What if we do this? And it's like, no, you're ruining the dish. The instructions are on the side.
They get like the Hello Fresh box. They're like, all right, well, what if we add these 9 things? We'll take this out. This doesn't make sense. No, it's there for you.
Exactly. You've been given. You've got it. Just go with it. Just back off.
Brad O'Callahan chimes in here and says, I listen to your Twins podcast every day all the way down here in New Zealand. New Zealand?
Thank you.
Nice.
Amazing. Been a Twins fan since I had a brief 6-month summer work experience in the Twin Cities in 2017. I would like to maybe put something out on the topic list for a quick discussion here. With the Twins going well at the moment and a huge series going on in Cleveland, do you think we have an outside chance of bypassing the wild card round with a winning record that puts us in second place in the AL? So the top 2 division winners in the American League avoid the wild card round altogether. The third division winner, which is where the Twins have been all season, has to play against the worst wild card team. So it's an interesting question. They're not going to catch the American League East. They are like 15 games behind the American League East team right now. But with the Mariners, Astros, and Rangers all kind of like exchanging punches and neck, they're all within a game right now. The Twins are only 5.5 games back of the Mariners and the Astros for the second best division record. Unlikely, but the Twins play one of the softest schedules from now until the end of. They literally play like almost exclusively losing teams who sold at the deadline and are just making tee times and vacation plans. So I wouldn't entirely rule it out.
Wow, I have not even given that one thought of being a possibility. But 5.5 games.
Wouldn't you rather them though actually play a wild card series against like a bad Rangers bullpen? Well, if it's just Rangers, like get a playoff win.
Yeah, and bring the Rangers on too. Like that's the one team I want now. I don't, I know that I think it was in July, went out and acquired Aroldis Chapman. But my God, that bullpen, and I watched it again against the Astros on Monday. Give me that bullpen. I mean, you've got to, if you get the starting pitcher out at any point, it's game on. Houston scares me way more. I think Seattle's really, really pesky and has played well.
Yeah, Julio Rodriguez.
Give me Texas.
Seattle kind of scares me, actually. They've got some, there's some mojo the last couple of years with that team, and Julio Rodriguez is special, and I don't know.
If they play Texas, I think I'm picking the Twins to win the series, not just one game.
Wow,
I think I have to.
And according to Fangraphs, the Twins have just a 0.7% chance of getting a bye right now. 0.7.
So you're telling me
there's a chance.
Telling me there's a chance.
I knew that was coming.
Telling me there's a chance. I'll tell you there's a chance you can lose a lot of weight if you sign up with our friends at Livia and Livia.com.
Oh, that's exactly right. In fact, take off the weight, and most importantly, they're going to help you keep the weight off. And if you don't believe Sports Dad, then guess what? I can tell you this too.
Then bleep you. No,
no. I love you people, but 3 consecutive years now, Livia Weight Control Centers has been voted the best weight loss program in the state. That's right. 3 consecutive years. So it's not just me. And yes, I had success, but it is also a publication, 3 consecutive years. And right now, if you join it, you're going to get 3 months for free. That's right. You're going to drop weight. You're going to feel great. And you're just going to be getting started. And 3 months free. 855-GO-LIVEA, Livia.com. Excuse the train coming through. That is the train in the background.
That's the Twins offense coming around the bases right now.
It's the noon train. Livia, LIVEA.com is going to be your ticket to weight loss.
There's a noon train that goes by your house?
There's a train like 11:45, but it comes.
Is it the 310 to Yuma just going right by your house?
Here's the weird thing. It's 3 blocks away, I think, or 2 blocks. I actually like it.
I'll meet you at the noon train.
Yep.
High noon,
Twisting,
partner.
I'm twirling the gun. There it is. I'm twirling the gun, going to the saloon.
Judd just with his
15
assless chaps and
paces.
spurs. Yeah, see?
No, the chaps would not be assless.
My horse is out by the trough right now. If you want to go
You're right. It's the Twins.
pace off 10 steps.
It's the Royce Lewis Express is what that is. He's coming through.
3 grand slams, man. It's aggressive.
That's incredible.
All right, it's time for the Immaculate Grid Challenge here, gentlemen. Presented by our friends at Nutrisource. Let's shout out Nutrisource before we do this, too. Nutrisource is the official dog food of Score North, of Purple Daily, of the Score North Twin Show as well. Maya Mackey. Maya Mackey is all hopped up on Nutrisource chicken and rice and the Nutrisource salmon-flavored treats. She loves all of it. And the kombucha is pretty good, too. Pretty good.
Stella does too. And in fact, she is in the next room right now, and she's starting to make some noise because it's time to go outside. And of course, when she comes back inside, that means it's time for training rewards treats, which I'm guessing, Declan, that your guy, the Vinster, loves too.
Yeah, if you hear a little whimper, little cry outside the
Bad
door, it's
dad.
probably because he knows, hey, you've been recording for like 3 hours now, and it's time to take me outside and also give me some Nutrisource treats. So get on it, peasant.
So you can go to NutrisourcePetFoods.com to find a Nutrisource retailer near you. NutrisourcePetFoods.com. Oh man, Judd hates when there are statistical categories here.
Well, no, it's just not as much fun for me.
It's Judd's favorite thing is complaining about the Immaculate Grid.
Actually
Declan and I accept it in all of its
just
shapes
stop
and
it
forms.
complaining. Judd's favorite thing is complaining. You can just stop right there.
So here's what we're looking for. We're looking for an A who was once a Philly, an A who had a 40 home run season, and an A who is in the Hall of Fame. We're looking for a Red Sox who was a Philly, a Red Sox 40 home run season, and a Red Sox Hall of Famer. And we're looking for a Red who was a Philly, a Red who was a 40 home run hitter, and a Red who's in the Hall of Fame. 9 for 9. We'll put 6 minutes on the clock here just to keep it nice and tidy. Are you guys ready?
Let's do it.
Here we go. Okay. I'm thinking old school because I'm on the old school train.
I was thinking Trevor Plouffe for A's and Phillies.
That's good.
Love that one, dude.
That's good.
Shoot,
stuff,
the X-Twin thing has also now entered my brain when doing these. 2%.
Nick Punto play for the Red Sox?
He did.
Oh man,
Yes.
he
And
did
he played for the
right.
Phillies.
So we could go. Should we try to go all Twins here?
He won 2 World Series. We won one with the Cardinals, and I believe he won one with the Red Sox.
Okay, and he played for the Phillies before he came to Minnesota.
Punto?
Let's go
Nick
if you guys want to go
Nick
Punto.
Punto.
All right, Punto. Give it to us. Oh, 0.1%.
Oh, big time! Wow, dudes! Wow. Well, the Philly Red that's the most obvious is Pete Rose.
Yeah.
I was going to say Scott Rowland.
It's another one. I'm trying to think of like less obvious ones.
I don't know any X-Twins for both these teams, I don't think.
No.
Let me think on them. I'm just trying to think on X-Twins. We can skip that one too. Let's knock out some of these other ones here.
Yeah.
So like, if you want to go real old school with Red Sox, I think we used Jimmy Fox on one yesterday, Judd, or was it yesterday? So Jimmy Fox, Judd, was a Red Sox, right? The power hitter.
I think so, but I wouldn't swear
Manny
to it.
is who I thought of. Ortiz is going to be the most common, but I was going to
Yeah.
go Manny.
I mean, we have a great rarity score going right now, and we could go.
Sure.
I think you're right on Jimmy Fox.
Let's go.
Phil,
Let's go Jimmy Fox. I'm 90% sure.
I think you're right.
Jimmy Fox.
There it is.
2%.
Oh,
2%. Let's go.
nice.
I'm thinking about like
Nice.
the 500 home run list. So like Jimmy Fox was a Red Sox.
Yep.
Dude, there's an A on that list too, like old school. Oh my God.
From the Philadelphia days
Yes.
or Kansas City.
Let me think about the old school. So when I was a kid, my dad bought me. This is like in the mid '90s, a 500 home run VHS. And Eddie Murray had just done it. So Eddie Murray was not on the VHS. So it's all the 500 home run hitters before
Okay.
like 1996 or whatever year he hit it.
Reggie Jackson would be on
Reggie
that list.
Jackson would be on there for a 40 and a Hall of Fame.
And he might not be.
Oh, Giambi?
Oh,
Giambi.
Mel Ott.
Mel Ott?
Really, an A?
We're sure on that?
Wasn't he a Philadelphia? Was
No.
he a Philadelphia?
No, he was a New York Giant.
Oh, New York Giant. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Jackson hit 40 there. I'm trying to think old school from the 70s World Series teams.
Well, we know that Reggie Jackson would work for a couple of these squares, right? For A's Hall of Famer.
Oh, yeah.
Who are some other? Well, you could go. Yeah, you go Giambi. Didn't Tejada hit 40 jacks? I think Chavez might have hit 40 jacks at one point.
I think
Canseco.
Canseco, yep.
Yeah, Canseco's going to be
High.
very high. Giambi might not be as high, right?
I feel like people don't remember Giambi as much that played this
Okay,
game.
these are all probably going to be kind of high unless we go like way old school.
Not his brother.
Okay.
14.
That's pretty good.
That's
That's
not
pretty
bad.
good.
That's
Pretty
not
good.
bad.
Pretty
That's
good.
not bad at all. Red George Foster?
For a Hall of Famer.
No. I'm sorry.
Oh.
For home run.
Okay, that's a good one.
I think he hit 50. I think he was the last player to hit 50 until like Cecil Fielder hit 50.
Wow.
15.
15%.
So good.
Probably not bad.
A lot of smart baseball
Be
fans.
nice to keep it below 30, but we're not going to. Below 50 would still be good. All right, let's knock out some Hall of Famers because we know we can. We know we got a couple out. Like we can go Pete Rose if we need to for either of these.
No, we can't go Pete Rose. He's not in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, that's right. That's
Also,
right. Obviously,
dude, for Philly Red, used him. The pitch, Kyle Loesch.
was he a red?
Loesch.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. on
He
that.
was a Red.
Okay.
I believe he was a Philly too.
Putting the Twins in these categories.
That's
I like
got to
these.
be low.
He was a Cardinal as well, right? Nice.
We got
Oh, 0.3. Nice.
minute and a
nice
half
work,
left. Wow, Dex.
Dex. Nice work, Dex. Nice work.
Amazing.
Love to see that.
And now we just got to pick our Hall of Famers here. I mean, there's
Okay.
well, there's only so much we can do rarity score wise with Hall of Famers.
Well, so Roland just went in, didn't he? He got into the Hall of Fame this year, or
Yes.
in the last year.
He did, and he was a red, right?
Yeah, so that would
Wasn't
be
he a red
rarer
from it?
than-
So that you can do
Yeah.
that.
Is that going to be rare though?
We're about to find out.
We're about to figure out. It's gonna be rarer than
'Cause there's
Pete Rose.
3%.
Oh wow, nice. Good call.
All right.
Okay. So for a Red Sox, how far back do we want to go? Because like,
Well, you got like Yastrzemski,
Yaz, Teddy Ball Game.
Teddy Ball Game's going to be popular, more popular than Yaz, right? Because Teddy Ball Game is Teddy Ball Game.
Carl Yastrzemski is probably going to be less than Teddy Ball Game.
Carl Yastrzemski.
There you go.
Yes, Stremski. 14?
14%.
That's not bad. That's not bad for
For Hall of Famers, no.
That's
it's
not bad. I'm
at
gonna
all.
take that.
So Frank Thomas had a
He
stop
did.
there, right?
Yep.
in
I'm trying to
06.
think of those two. Frank Thomas. None of those pitchers went to the Hall of
I
Fame.
feel like
Reggie.
Reggie and Raleigh Fingers are probably the highest, right?
Dennis Eckersley.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
I would say Frank Thomas for the obscure stop in Oakland, or Dennis Eckersley for just not being as top of mind.
I feel like Frank.
I mean,
Frank's a
Ricky
tank.
Henderson.
See it?
Yeah,
Let's
those are
go.
popular.
Let's do it. Come on.
Survey
I mean,
says?
it's in.
52.
That's one of
52
our best
rarity
rarity scores. That's one of our best.
What did we get yesterday, Phil?
What did we get yesterday? I don't remember.
Only 2% on Frank Thomas. Our Hall of Famers were good ones there.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. Giambi. Who are
take
the
that.
popular ones here?
Oh, Ricky
Wire,
Henderson.
Johnny Bench.
Jeremy
Yeah.
Giambi for A's Phillies.
Yeah, there's Peter
Wire,
Rose.
Ricky.
Adam
That's right.
Dunn. Adam Dunn for the.
Done.
That's
For the
the
red
scene.
with 40 jacks.
That's the scene where Brad Pitt calls Jeremy in and trades
Yeah.
him. Hey, you've been
Amazing.
traded.
John
You're a good kid,
Papelbon.
Jeremy.
It's a great one.
Jonathan Papelbon is
Hey,
one I thought about. I think
crazy
he's an
guy.
analyst now for the Red Sox, right?
Is he? I have no idea.
Or Philadelphia. He's doing TV for somebody.
Nice job, boys. We are immaculate.
Yep.
Great work here. Scoring our Twin Show.
Good
We
work.
just want the Twins to win a damn playoff game, and it's looking a little more likely.
Where's my flag?